Good afternoon, everybody. This is Andy Pedraza with Special Effects Academy, and we're going to take a look at the Forex trading room results for the week ending today, April 13th of 2018. So this is our weekly wrap up for the Forex trading room. Welcome aboard. Feel free to interrupt if you have any questions or comments along the way. That being said, thank you for joining, and I will get us started. We're going to be looking at the trades that were either opened or closed for the week, the balance, the results for the week, any opportunities for improvement, as well as any trades that will be remaining open until next week. Let's just jump into the trades open and close for the week. We had a decent week. We are coming off a week that was a little bit lackluster a couple of weeks back, and last week was in general flat. This week we did carry a nice profit of 268 pips, a growth of 10.43% for the week. 7 winning trades, 2 losers for a win ratio of 77.78. That is way higher than normal. So I always like to preface my results saying that we should always go for the average and not read too much into any bad weeks or any really good weeks, because they tend to balance each other out. So we're looking for steady returns over time, not necessarily to get rich in a week or anything like that. So in total for the week, we had 9 trades. The first one that we're going to look at is the Euro JPY that was opened on Monday, and that trade captured 47.2 pips. I'm going to ask if you're not speaking, if you can mute the phone. I'm getting a little bit of background noise there. So carrying on, that Euro JPY trade gave us 47.2 pips. Aussie JPY gave us 47.3. Pound JPY gave us 42.5. Euro GBP, I should have mentioned, the Aussie JPY trade was a trade from the prior week that remained open, and we did take out the profit this week, so that is a carryover from last week. The next trade, the Euro Pound, as well, was a carryover from the week before, and it did exactly hit our target limit of 50 pips, so that was another 50 pips profit. Then we go into the Euro USD trade. These trades were opened at the same time, Euro dollar, pound dollar, based on the technicals in the charts. The Euro pound is our first loser for the week at minus 50.4 pips. But it was balanced out by the pound dollar, which pretty much matched it, 49.4 pips of profit for that trade. Then we had the Euro Swiss, probably one of the better movers that we had for the week. It did retrace a bit. We took 44.4 pips out of that trade. USD JPY, another 50 pips loss. This one was entered on a fundamental announcement a week before, and we'll take a look at this one as part of our opportunities for improvement when we get to that slide. I highlighted that one because I do want to cover it. We re-entered the Aussie JPY 2 days ago, and it really moved. So this was the big winner for the week. We took 87.7 pips out of that one trade. So all in all, that was the big mover, representing a nice chunk of the profits of the week. At least a third of the profits came from this one trade. And we do have a trade. We had placed a pending order to be triggered at 1.7950 on a pound CAD buy. That did get triggered overnight, actually in the early morning, 4 a.m. or so. It got triggered. The stop loss is 178.5, and the limit is 181.5. That's a 2-for-1 trade if it does fulfill the limit. And that one will remain open throughout the weekend. So that's the only trade that we're carrying over from the past. So those are the results as they stand now for the week. One trade left open. All the others have been closed, including the stragglers we had from the prior week. The balance graph for the week, you can see that it was, it had its bumps along the way. We did have a couple of losing trades, but in general, it did trend towards the top, which is what we like to see. And we have, this does recover from the performance a couple of weeks back. So the account is now back in a healthy state. Last week, as I said, was reasonably flat. The opportunities for improvement that I want to cover again are going to highlight that USD JPY trade. So we did enter on a short on the 6th of April. Looking for the fundamental announcement pretty much was telling us that it was going to, the JPY was going to strengthen against the dollar. And it did that. In fact, it did drop significantly and then went back towards the top, then dropped again to that same level. As the opportunity here for improvement, we shouldn't really have let it continue to do that for so long. We should have closed it earlier on one of these profit points, even though it had not hit the limit, or on one of the trend line breaks that it did on its way up, or at least have adjusted the stop to a level that made a little bit more sense to protect some of the profits, or at least drop it to break even so it was no longer at risk. So in retrospect, this one should have been handled a little bit differently. And hold on one second. Sorry about that. So that is the takeaway for the week. We should have managed this trade a little bit better and not let it go against us and take us out at the 50 pip loss. That's the only one that I would care to comment on. The other loss that we had for the week, the euro dollar, again, that's just the cost of trading. You're going to have winning trades, you're going to have losing trades. All in all, if that would have been our only loser for the week, we would have been very well served. And just to look at the trade that we are keeping open throughout the weekend, again, we had put a trigger overnight so that if it rose beyond a certain level, and that level is here, on the break of the trend line, what we were looking for was a break of this descending trend line. We put the trigger a little bit above to enter us long. Our target is towards the top of the chart, and our stop loss is right above the prior level of support. It did take us in, quickly went against us, reversed, and is now at profit. It's not at a high level of profit, but it continues moving in the right direction. So this trade will remain open over the weekend, and we'll reassess it on Sunday as we start looking at the week to come. And that does cover the agenda for today. If anybody has any comments or questions, by all means, feel free to ask them right now. Otherwise, a recording of this will be posted in probably the next half hour or so, and will be emailed out to everybody for those who couldn't make the meeting. So last call here. Any questions?
No, I'm good, Andy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Then what we're going to do here is we will continue in our regular schedule. So the next meeting is going to be on Sunday evening, 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern Daylight Time, as we do a scan of the week to come to start out the week. So I'll talk to you guys then. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, Andy. You too.
Thanks, man. Take care.